do I have a hair? Like a hair standing straight up. All right, let's gonna see who's gonna hop on tonight. Anybody there? Hello, hello, hello. If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. Hello? If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. Anybody? Russell from Casper, Wyoming. Oh, you're not too terribly far from me. I forget how many hours. 4, maybe? If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. I should have charged my phone. Now I have to hold it with a charger. Fun. If you're just hopping on and you're not familiar, my name is Renee and I'm from South Dakota. Welcome. If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. Sorry, just writing down some stuff I forgot to remind myself here for my live. Anybody else gonna talk to me tonight? Tell me who you are, where you're from. Anybody? Southeast Missouri. Paula, welcome. Let me think. Southeast. Okay. So down in the corner. I'm from Iowa, so okay. Raymond from Rhode Island. Welcome. I had a boss this summer from Rhode Island. I think it was Rhode Island. I think somewhere over there. I'm pretty sure it was Rhode Island. If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. If you're not familiar, my name is Renee, and I'm from South Dakota. Welcome. You're just hopping on, say hi, tell me who you are. I'll let a few more people hop on, and then we'll get started. Dave from Minnesota, welcome. Glad to have you here. Sorry, my phone is always uh-oh, I did that thing again where I made, oh, there it goes. Okay. Hey, Katie girl. Jersey girl here. Nice to meet you, Renee. Nice to meet you too. Glad to have you here. The girl, Jacksonville, Florida. Welcome. Glad to have you here. Okay. Said I'm just going to let a few more people hop on, guys, and then I'll get started. If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. My name is Renee, and I'm from South Dakota. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Come on in. Okay. Katie Boston. I know it's been forever, girl. How are you tonight? Any better? How old is too old to use a Peloton bike? I have no clue. Hi from Pennsylvania. Welcome. Glad to have you here. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. All right. Well, we've got a bunch hopped on now. Still in the hospital. Oh, girl. Gotta get better. Well, we sent a bunch of good vibes up for you yesterday, Katie. So fingers crossed for you, girl. All right. If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. Thank you for the follow, da girl. If you're not familiar, my name is Renee. I'm from South Dakota. Sorry, I'm trying to get back in the swing of things here. I haven't been on live. Last night was my first time in 2 weeks, so got to get back in the swing of it. Sam from Alabama, welcome. My name is Renee. I'm from South Dakota. I started my TikTok in March. The reason I started my page, channel, whatever it's called, September 14th of 2023 for TikTok purposes. My husband unalived himself. Dwayne from Minnesota, welcome. Thank you for the likes. I appreciate that. And when my husband unalived himself, my whole world of 32 years crumbled. But then I discovered, sorry, my phone goes nuts. I discovered that North Carolina, welcome. I had discovered that I have these abilities to talk to my guides. Thank you for the gifts, guys. Sorry, my friend keeps sending me messages. I think he's waiting because he didn't get a notification that I went live. Anyway, and so I decided to, I discovered my abilities to talk to my guides after my husband unalived himself. Thank you. I appreciate that. And my guides then led me to what my purpose in life was, which is to help other people deal with their loss and trauma and to uplift others. So that's why I'm here. They had pushed me all winter to get on more on social media. And I kind of dragged my feet on TikTok. I wasn't sure. Yes, I'm talking about spirit guides. Yes. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Hi from New Rochelle. I don't know if I said that right. New York. You're a widow too? Well, you're in the right place because that's what we talk about here. We talk about loss. We talk about if you're lonely, if you're looking for a community and you need a place to vent or to go. Rochelle. Okay. This is your community. And so that's pretty much my story. That's why I'm here. I only have 2 rules. I ask that you always be kind. I am on my journey of life where I am and you are where you are. And none of us are going to agree on everything. So we just ask to agree to disagree if you don't agree. And if you can't do that, I just ask that you hop off and keep scrolling. My only other rule is we don't talk politics here. This is a page for healing and uplifting and showing love to others. So those are my only 2 rules. Welcome. Normally I have a subject for the night that I get from my guides, and she didn't want to give me one tonight. So I guess I'm on my own. So basically that's what we talk about here. So does anybody else, let me back up here real quick. Gaia Rose, how long have you been a widow? I gave to my parents for 15 years. My mom's been gone 1 year and I'm lost without her. Okay, well, that's what we talk about here. We talk about loss and how to deal with loss. And if you haven't dealt with loss. Okay, well, next moon, I'm going to agree to disagree with you because I've been down every rabbit hole and people don't know all the truth. And I was in hermit mode and went down rabbit holes for 6 years. And we've been lied to about a lot of things. So all I can say is I'm going to agree to disagree with you. And you can pray for me all you want. That's great. I'll take every prayer I can get. Just know you've been taught to pray wrong. Anyway, just my 2 cents, my page, I'm allowed. So you either agree to disagree with me and you can stay, or just please, I just ask that you hop off and keep scrolling. Yes, my guide's name is Aquafil. And right now all of my other guides talk through her. Hey Ruth, glad to see you here. Yes, we've been lied to about everything. Exactly. And religion is huge, and I try not to talk about that here. That's about as bad as politics. Hey Wayne, you got on. I'm glad to see. And we don't talk about politics here, so that means no more Free Palestine or any of that. This page is about healing. So all I ask is that you don't say that again, or I'll have to block you, and I don't like to block anybody. So anyway, so we're talking about loss tonight. So if anybody's got a loss, just a little bit about my backstory too. Okay. I don't like to do this, but people leave me no choice. I'm just not a blocking person, but I asked you kindly not to do that. So just ignore. Okay. Sorry. Anyway, I blocked. And I'm not saying I agree or disagree or any of that. This is just not the page for that. So anyway, if somebody's got a loss that they would like to talk about tonight, just a little backstory of mine. So when my husband decided to unalive himself, he did not leave me in a great spot financially. So I had no money to go to therapy, and I'm the circle that doesn't fit in the square. I'm the unique girl. So I knew when I came home, because it didn't happen here, that group therapy wasn't going to work for me. We were together for 32 years. Like I said, my whole world of 32 years crumbled. Nothing stayed the same except for my apartment and my children and my grandkids, of course. And so after I decided to not unalive myself, because I had never lived without my husband since I was 16, I had decided my life was important thanks to my daughter, and I decided to stick around. I had to figure out how to heal myself. I knew that if I was going to continue on this earth, that I had to find a way to survive and how to heal myself. And so that's what I talk about. That's what my guides have helped me to realize that I'm to share with others. So one of the big things on here we talk about is healing from loss, and loss can mean anything. And we talked about this last night. So if you haven't seen my live, it's on my YouTube channel, which I'll mention here in a bit. But loss can mean, lost a loved one from death, divorce, anything. Loss means a lot of things, but we mostly talk about trauma and loss from death. But if you're hurting and you have issues, we talk about that too. You're welcome to vent here. This is your community. If you're alone and you just need somebody to talk to, this is your community. Welcome. So if you're just hopping on, tell us who you are, where you're from. My name is Renee and I'm from South Dakota. Welcome. And I'm so glad to have you here. Okay. Who said that they lost? I had a couple people mention that they lost some people. Trumpet Sisters. Is that it? You lost someone? I'm sorry. I'm just trying to keep up with the chat here. Thank you for the lives, guys. I appreciate that. One of the things that I discovered during in this year journey is that you have to deal with it, right? You can't shove it under a rug. I mean, you can, but it will come back to haunt you. So it's best to just walk through the storm. That's what I call it most of the time. And that relates to anything, divorce, trauma, loss, whatever. You have to walk through it. You have to go through it in order to get through it. Thank you for the follow, Betty. I appreciate that. If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. And the other thing is, we're not shy here. So speak up. You're never interrupting me. I appreciate any feedback that I get. That's what this page is about. So if you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. Now, Katie and Wayne, it looks like they're my two regulars that are on. So they're my two go-tos. So if you have any questions, you can ask them too. Although Katie's in the hospital, not doing well. But she's still here tonight. So glad to have you here, girl. Anybody have anything they want to talk about? Anybody still there? Groupies. Yeah, they're my groupies, I guess you could say. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Yeah, she's not doing so hot, Ruth. So, and Ruth, she's one of my regulars too. I forgot you were on, Ruth. I apologize. So does anybody have anything they want to talk about tonight? Ruth, how are you doing? Ruth had a loss. Thanks, Wayne. Ruth had a loss. It was last summer, correct, Ruth? Correct me if I'm wrong. And so we always check in on each other. If you're my regular, we check in. I have a great community of people here. So if you're looking for a community and you just need some friendship, or you're lonely or you need a place to talk about what's going on in your life, welcome. You're in the right place. If you're just hopping on, tell us who you are, where you're from. If you're not familiar, my name is Renee and I'm from South Dakota. Welcome. Okay, anybody that talked about they had a loss, I'm going to backtrack here for a second. Who was it? Okay, I'm not finding. I didn't go back far enough. From Oklahoma, thank you. You're welcome. It's a great place to share your feelings, fears, and joys. No judgment. Yes. Oh, speaking of, while I'm waiting for somebody to pipe in and talk to me tonight, so for my regulars, I had got some good news this morning. Hi, Renee. How are you? Been a while. Brian from Florida. I'm back. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Brian. Glad to have you back. So I was just sharing my good news for this morning. Let's see, Chris from Fort Worth, Texas. Welcome. Glad to have you here. So I got some good news. So it's just a small podcast. It's one of my friends, but she's amazing. And she's an author friend of mine. And she agreed to have me on her podcast. So she's interviewing me for her podcast a week from Friday. So I'm excited about that. I haven't shared a lot about my visions of my future, but let's just say it goes along with that. So I'm going to leave that there because my guides don't want me to spill all the beans right now. So anyway, it's good news. I'm going to be on a podcast and I'm going to be able to talk about Daryl and our story and hopefully reach a lot more people. So great news for me. Exciting. I'm excited. I'm very excited. So here's my thing. If I can reach one person and help one person, make one person's day, save one person, whatever it may be, I'm down. So that's my goal. Anyway, so if you're just hopping on, thanks for the follow, Chris. I appreciate that. Hi, Margot from Skokie. Is that right? So if you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. My name is Renee. I'm from South Dakota. Welcome. Oh, thank you. I have a cat that might bother us. She's trolling to see if she can come up here. Go lay down, Chloe. So, nobody has anything they want to share tonight? Get off their chest, vent, losses, anything? This is the place. Share, guys. How was your holidays? I gotta say, I missed you all terribly. I would have been on a little sooner, but I've been helping my daughter out with my grandson, so I would have been on a couple days sooner. We think we have a new schedule figured out for next week, and so I was filling in for her babysitter who hurt her ankle, so that's why I hadn't been on a little sooner. But how was your holidays? I have to be honest. They really sucked for me. Like I said, I always swore to be authentic. And so that's truly how I feel. I love my kids dearly and they tried their best to make it a good holiday. It just, this was my second year without my husband. And I think this year was harder for me than the first one. In fact, I know it was. Honestly, I just wanted to go to sleep and wake up in the new year. So I'm glad the new year's here, but I have a new outlook, if I could talk. It's a new year and I have, like I've said before, I've had visions of my future. And so I'm taking steps daily to hit my goals and to strive for what I want to do in this life. And so just taking steps daily to make that happen. So I hope y'all take note. It's a new year, new you, new start. You can do it. Aw, thank you, Brian. I appreciate that. Yeah, it was rough. I have to admit, it was just rough. I didn't hang one Christmas item this year. I didn't put up a tree. I didn't do anything. My daughter who lives with me and my little grandson, who's 10 months, we agreed that we wouldn't put up a tree between the cats, and I have still a kitten, and my grandson who's into everything. We just decided we wouldn't put up a tree. So the tree was out of the question, and I just wasn't up for putting up anything, to be honest with you. So, but my outlook has changed. It's all positive from here on out. So, obviously I'm going to still have my moments, and we all have our moments. Like I said, just don't unpack and live there. Okay, enough of me rambling on. Somebody surely got something to talk about tonight. Something that happened over your holiday. Today's Elvis's 90th birthday. Are you old enough to remember the day he passed? No, I'm not old enough to know the day he passed, but my mom was a huge Elvis fan, so Elvis was widely known in our house, and my mom's friend's birthday was today. He has since passed, but his birthday was today too, so I knew it was Elvis's birthday. I'm not sure he passed, but that's just, anyway. Renee will be quiet. Okay, come on, guys. Somebody surely got something that they want to talk about. How was your holidays? And be honest. You can always be honest here. If you had a tough time, you had a tough time. Let's talk about it. If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. If you're not familiar, my name is Renee and I'm from South Dakota. Welcome. I hate these. I got to get new glasses. My good ones, my dog laid on them and broke them, and these hurt my ears. Tony, I am from South Dakota. Where are you from? Welcome. Glad to have you here. Okay, so nobody's experienced a loss that they're struggling with, anybody, and that could be anything. Divorce, death, loss of a job, anything. Winter and holidays are tough. Yes, they are, especially when I hate winter, and my husband and I had figured it out before he passed that we were going to not spend winters in the winter in a winter place, right? And then he decided to check out on me after 32 years, and I now have no say in it. Not for the moment, anyway. That's changing, but not for the moment. Definitely they are hard, though. I agree. And now I understand, because until my husband had passed, I had, I'd had people post like on Facebook or whatever, they talk about how, not everybody is happy during the holidays and, sharing your stuff and blah, blah, blah. And now I kind of get that a little more. Before I thought, well, how selfish is that? Even if, obviously if somebody's sharing about their life during the holidays and they're having a great time with their family and whatever, we should always be happy for someone else, right? We should never poo-poo on somebody else's parade. That's just my opinion. My page, my opinion. I'm allowed. But I do definitely understand that now. It was hard for me to see, for sure. First 3 years, the hardest. Yeah. Well, we'll see. If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. Hello, Johnny Dog. How are you? Long time no see, buddy. And thank you for your message. I enjoyed what you wrote to me about on that message. I'm always interested in stuff like that. So if you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. If you're not familiar, my name is Renee. I'm from South Dakota. Welcome. Alabama, that's right. I forgot. How was your holidays, Johnny? Thank you for the likes, guys. I appreciate that. Nobody's got anything else they want to talk about tonight? It's going to be a short live. Normally my guide gives me something to talk about. Sometimes they just give me a topic and go on. And then I have to just figure it out on my own. And other nights, like tonight, she's awful quiet and she didn't want to give me anything. So here I am on my own. Not surprised. So if you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. Nobody had a loss or anything that they want to talk about. My dog stinks tonight. Sorry. I'm like, wow. Okay. Anybody? Nobody's got anything. Don't be shy. We're not shy around here. Hey, Marie, how are you? Girl, it's been a long time. How was your holidays? I was just saying, mine was a little rough. If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. Oh, and I did have other good news. Our maintenance guy here at my apartment building gave me a dryer. So now I have a dryer again. I haven't had a dryer all summer, so that's exciting. My hair is so pretty. Have a good day. It's really dirty, to be honest with you. It's one of those dirty hair, don't care days. I just don't believe in washing your hair every day because it's not good for it. So it's definitely due tomorrow for a wash. But thank you. I appreciate that. I'd love to hear from ancestors. Glad holidays are over. Have you invited them to come to talk to you? Just a question. Make sure you're safe doing it, though. Gail from Northeast Oklahoma, welcome. Glad to have you here. If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. I do believe angel spirits step in after a loss. I'm sure. I mean, they're always there. For me, like I said, I think I've always known deep down that I've had these abilities that I have. I have, but I'm not savvy enough to see the signs. Okay, well, message me, girl, and we can talk about it if you want. PSA, if I don't ask you to message me and you message me, don't expect a response. I get 100 messages hundreds of messages between all my social media every day, and I can't always comment to everybody. So unless I ask you to message me, I generally don't respond back. But message me, we'll talk about it and see what we can do. Okay? But yeah, so I think I've always known I've had abilities, and I had abilities as a preteen, and then they kind of went away. And then I think Spirit was slowly prepping me for the loss of my husband, even though I don't think you're ever prepared, right? But they were slowly. And I was, because I was getting things and I just didn't understand what I was getting. I didn't put it all together until after the fact. Oh, you're so welcome, Marie. No problem. If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. 6 months since my partner passed. Should I feel guilty to want to be in a relationship? No, and let me tell you why. I've been in a relationship since for a year, 13 months now. So my husband unalived himself. Sorry, I caught myself. September 14th, and I've been in a relationship since December 2nd. So what was that? September, October, November. Not quite 3 months. This is my philosophy on that. Just because you're moving forward with your life, which you're allowed to do because they've passed, does not mean you didn't love them, does not mean you didn't grieve them. It just means that you're moving on. If you feel you're ready, you're ready. Who is anyone else to say that you're not ready? I had my guides come to me and tell me that I needed to open up my heart, because if I didn't at that time, I was going to lose love. I opened up my heart and I found the guy that I've been dating, and I keep my relationship very private. There's several reasons. He doesn't want to be out there right now, and that's fine. So a lot of people don't know that, but I am in a relationship, have been for 13 months. And honestly, Froggy Dreams, it's nobody's business but yours. And guess what? What I always say, everybody else's opinion of us is none of our business. So that's my thoughts on it. You think it's too early? Were you the one in the relationship? Just asking. I like to play devil's advocate. I don't, because he understands that I'm still working through things. And there's been a lot of days there that he's been my rock when I've been trying to work through things. So that's my opinion. Everybody has a right to their opinion. I just agree to disagree with you. And who's to say how long somebody is to grieve? Like I said, just because I'm in a new relationship doesn't mean that I didn't love my husband, doesn't mean I'm not still grieving my husband. He knows I'm still grieving my husband. It just means that I'm 50 years old. I'm not 20 anymore, and every day is precious, and I'm not going to sit in this bed and waste it. And now I have the ability to talk to my husband, and he's basically told me he doesn't want me sitting in this bed grieving. What's the proper time to grieve? 6 months, a year, 2 years? Who says? To me, it's up to you, to the individual person. Just my 2 cents. Anyway, if you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. And as my husband used to say, guilt is a useless function. My My husband used to tell me that all the time. Guilt is a useless function. Gaia Rose 100% believes in that too. I met my person online. I tried the whole dating app thing, opened up Pandora's box. It was won't go there. Do you know Gaia Rose? I'm confused how you know how she feels. What am I missing? Sorry, just curious. And we all do grieve differently. I agree. You know, I'm just, like I said, who is to say, you know, what is the grieving period? A year? I'm supposed to lay in this bed a year of my life and grieve when tomorrow's never promised, right? You know, tomorrow's not promised. You get up every day and you live for every day. And like I said, I'm not 20, I'm not 30 anymore. I'm 50 and I don't want to be alone for the rest of my life. So, you know, if that means getting back out there even when I'm still grieving, that means I'm getting back out there when I'm still grieving. Just my thoughts. All right. If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. If you're not familiar, my name is Renee. I'm from South Dakota. But thank you for your input. Do you have a name? Is it Pato? I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Do you have a name and where are you from? I appreciate your input though. And have you lost somebody or just curious? Anybody else want to add their 2 cents? You're welcome to. There's no wrong answer on here, in my opinion. Like I said, if we don't agree with each other, we just agree to disagree. And if you can't do that, just hop off and keep scrolling. Not a big deal. I've just learned the last couple of years, I am where I am on my journey of life. You are where you are. And obviously not all of us are going to agree on everything. So that's where we just agree to disagree and keep moving forward, right? So if you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. My name is Renee. I'm from South Dakota. Welcome. Another Renee. Did she hop off? Anybody else got anything else they want to add? Anyone? Yeah, and for me, there, you know, let's just put it this way. There were, you know, so here's the thing. So he got me through a lot of dark days, you know, and my daughter had a baby in March. And if you're not familiar with my original story, my husband was, went into the hospital in December of 21 with pneumonia. While he was there, he had 2 strokes, blood clots, AFib, the whole 9 yards, was in the hospital for 88 days. Okay. And so when my husband went in, there was a lot of trauma there. And I ended up with a lot of PTSD. Long story. But the point of my story is that when my daughter was going to have her baby in March, he helped me work through that PTSD to help me be able to go to the hospital where I swore I would never go again to see my grandson be born. Now, I didn't get to see him be born because he came C-section, but I was still able to be there for my daughter. I have lost someone so dear. I know how it feels. Not a good experience. Not easy, though. No, it's never easy. Hey, Danny, how are you? Glad to have you here. Thank you for that, Danny. I appreciate it. No, it's not easy. You know, I mean, I had what I call a moment Monday night. I was going to put some spring coats that we had left out, and because we've had snow and cold here, some spring coats away in my closet. That's the only place where my husband's stuff still resides. Because there's stuff I don't really want to get rid of. Long story. Anyway, his stuff resides there. And I went to put spring coats away and I had a huge moment. I'm not going to lie. Like I said, I'm very authentic. I tell the truth when I'm on here, you know, and I had a huge moment. Like I say, have your moment, just don't unpack and live there. I didn't. I had my moment. But in a way, I think it was a breakthrough for me, So thank you. You helped me focus in the direction for me. I grieve, but I have love to share. Exactly. And just because, like I said, just because you're moving forward with your life doesn't mean you never love that person. Doesn't mean you're still not grieving that person. It just means that, like you said, you have love to share and you want to move forward. There's nothing to be guilty about. Like my husband always said, guilt is a useless function. And also, like I said, other people's opinions of us is none of our business. So just keep moving forward. You do you. If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. If you're not familiar, my name is Renee. Welcome. Glad to have you here. Missed you, Danny. How are your holidays? Thank you for the follow, Nancy. I appreciate that. Holidays were rough, Danny. I was just saying they were a little rough. It's a new year, new me, new goals. So they were a little rough. It's a new year, new me, new goals. Stepping forward into my future. Excited. I was telling everybody earlier when I got good news. I got a new dryer here, 2 weeks ago. Maintenance guy helped me out with a new dryer. And I'm going to be on a podcast a week from Friday. So I'm excited about that. Goes along with some goals I have for my future. So I'm really excited and just moving forward, one foot in front of the other. That's all you can do, right? So anybody else have anything else they want to share tonight? I feel like I'm doing all the talking. Yes, ma'am. If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. My name is Renee. I'm from South Dakota. Welcome. I use my free time now helping others. You know what? If that's your calling, that's your calling. That's great, Gaia Rose. I appreciate it. That is awesome. Danny, I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot. Yeah, that's great. If you have a gift and you're called to help others, then use it, That's why I'm here. Spirit tells me I have to be here, but I want to be here. I have a story and I want to be here. My husband passed when I was 50. I have not dated or met anyone in 17 years. All these years alone. Did you choose that? Or it just happened to work out that way? If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. If you're not familiar, my name is Renee. I'm from South Dakota. Welcome. Glad to have you here. Not sure. Did you deal with the passing of your husband? I understand it's been 17 years, but that doesn't mean anything to some people. Did you deal with the passing of your husband? Yes. Okay. Just making sure, because sometimes, we take on that trauma and then we don't heal, and that's what keeps us from moving on. So that's why I was asking. And there's no shame in that, I mean, it's your life. You live it how you want, here. This has been my new philosophy, right? So if you're not hurting me, you're not hurting yourself, and you're not hurting anyone else, you do you, boo. Whatever works for you. That's my philosophy. I stay in my own lane. I do my own thing. Live in my own bubble, and I make my world go around, and I'm here to help others make theirs go around when I can. But yeah, you do what works for you. If you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. Have not healed from my dad from 35 years. I am so sorry to hear that. Is it Karen? And Karen, where are you from? Karen, would you mind messaging me after this? If you don't mind, I'm going to follow you because I would love to talk to you more about why you haven't healed and if I can offer any assistance there. That's so true. You do what works for you. Kansas, welcome. Well, you're not too terribly far from me either. Wishing pregnancy upon you. Interesting. That's all I'm going to say about that. You was 13. Okay. I would still love to talk to you about that. That's what I'm here for, if you don't mind. I followed you. If you would like to message me after, we can sure talk. Okay, awesome. But I did follow you so I can find you, because sometimes I lose people, and if I don't follow right away, I don't catch them. So if you're just hopping on, tell us who you are, where you're from. I'm Renee. I'm from South Dakota. Welcome. Glad to have you here. Anybody else have anything else they want to share? Okay. 744. Those 44s follow me. Y'all know about angel numbers, right? Your kids didn't want you to date. Do you want my opinion, my real opinion on that? I could tell you what I used to tell my kids. I don't sugarcoat anything here. If you're looking for sugar, go eat a donut. That's what I used to tell my children. I'm just not a sugarcoater. I believe in speaking my mind. We all have to take it, but they're not living my life. That's my opinion. You know, if that worked for you, that worked. You know, if that worked for you, that worked for you. I just know that our kids don't live our life for us, right? And how many of us lived our lives for them for years, right? It's our turn. Just saying. You know, I raised kids for 30 years, right? And I'm a different person than I was. I'm not the same mom that I was with my kids, you know, this year and 4 or 5 months, right? I'm a different person. I've grown spiritually. You know, my whole world crumbled and I had to put it all back together, starting from scratch, right? And I'm 50 years old. And, you know, my kids haven't seen eye to eye with me on everything that I have done this year. But you know what? I'm living for me now. And if they don't like it, they're all grown children. Oh, well, you know, I have to do what's right for me. Hi, how are you? Thank you for the follow, Karen. I appreciate that. Oh, and thank you for that gift. I appreciate that too. That's awesome. So yeah, that's just my opinion, right? You know, I lived for them for 25, 30 years. It's my turn now. Oh, you changed it. Oh, well, cool. That's cool. Sorry, my phone is always squawking. I don't want to mess up anything. So if you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. My name is Renee. I'm from South Dakota. Welcome. Anybody else have anything else they want to share? Anybody? Karen, I definitely would like to talk to you, though, about how we can get you healed from your dad. Will you ever find anybody? I guess that's up to you. You know, how are you open to it? You know, sometimes we close ourselves off and don't realize that we're closed off, you know. And here's the thing is, you know, sometimes we put up a wall and we don't realize we put up a wall. And sometimes that wall is put up because of trauma. And when we don't deal with the trauma, it's hard to take down that wall. So it can be a whole thing. But it's truly up to you. I bet you're doing the right thing. Oh, well, thank you. Did you ever tell me your name and where you're from? Because I would really love to know. But I appreciate you saying that. You didn't have to say that, by the way, but I appreciate it. So if you're just hopping on, tell me who you are, where you're from. If you're not familiar, my name is Renee. I'm from South Dakota. Welcome. Does anybody else have anything else they want to talk about tonight or add? We're getting close to that hour mark. I try to keep it about an hour. Silver Spring, is it Maryland, correct? And what was your name? Give me a name. Oh, Karen, thank you. I appreciate that. Yes. If you're just hopping on, tell us. Patrick. Well, Patrick, welcome. Because I'm pretty sure this is your first time, right? I'm pretty good. I don't always remember names, but I'm pretty good at remembering people's profile, unless you've changed it. You said you lost somebody. I'm going to pry a little bit, Patrick. I apologize. When you engage with me, I like to ask questions. You said you lost somebody very dear to you. And it is a tough thing. Would you like to share who you lost? Just out of curiosity. You don't have to. If you're just hopping on, tell us who you are, where you're from. If you're not familiar, my name is Renee. I'm from South Dakota. Welcome. Glad to have you here. My phone's finally charged enough. I can take it off the charger and move my hand. Actually, I gotta switch hands for a second. I have fibromyalgia if you're new to my page, so my hand cramps. Switch hands for a second. Thank you for the likes, guys. I appreciate that. Jimmy, hello. Where are you from, Jimmy? Welcome. Okay, anybody else want to talk about anything? This is your chance to vent or to just anything. Anybody? Would love to, but can't type here. Well, you're welcome to message me and we could talk in a message. Like I said, PSA though, if I didn't ask you to message me, you probably won't get a response. But I did ask you, Patrick, to message me. So if you'd like to talk about it there, we could talk more there. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. If you're not familiar with my page, I have lots of videos there. Hi, Gabby. Good to see you. Lots of good videos that messages I've gotten from my guides. And then now I have to do my shameless plug or Spirit will be upset with me. So if you're not familiar, oh, guess what? Go ahead and tell me, Gabby, while I'm doing my lovely plug that my guides make me do. So I started a YouTube channel. That was the last social media that I hadn't been on. So if you're interested in subscribing to my YouTube channel, that would be amazing. That is Scorpio Medium. And then I have an email there, and it's also here in my website because there's no other place to put it, but that is scorpiomedium74@yahoo.com. And if you would like to have a channeled reading with a loved one, you're welcome to email me there, and that's how you set that up. My guides tell me I have to do that plug every time. I really don't like to do that, but it's there. Guides tell me I have to do that plug every time. I really don't like to do that, but it's there. I hope your kids and family are proud of me. They tell me they are, so we'll see. You know, they're kind of in their own little world. They do their own thing. They're adults, so we all kind of just doing our own little thing. But thank you for that. So yeah, so if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, if you're interested, I always upload my lives there. So if you miss a live, you can go to my YouTube channel, Scorpio Medium, and find those uploaded there. All my videos that are here, you'll find there, and some of my older videos are there. So that's my shameless plug. Yes, I have grandchildren. I have several. All right, guys, this is last call. Anybody who need to talk about anything, vent, anything, last call. Oh, and I forgot. So generally I'm here Sunday through Thursday, 7 o'clock Mountain Time. My daughter had to reset her availability, so now it's going to change as of right now. Sunday through Wednesday night, I will be here. Sometimes I'm on a Friday or a Saturday night. If I'm not out dancing, I will hop on. But generally, Sunday through Wednesday, you'll find me here from around 7 o'clock Mountain Time. So if you ever need a place to go just to vent, or if you're lonely and looking for a place to go, we're here. I don't see anybody else have anything else to say, so I'm going to say on that note, thank you all for being here. I hope you all have a great night, and I'm going to say until we meet again.